off. Those fish aren't just swimming, they're running, as if they're trying to escape from something terrifying. And suddenly, it becomes clear. They are fleeing from a massive monster. Within seconds, that monster starts heading straight toward the ship, and the alarm system triggers, flashing red warnings everywhere. Before they can even react, the creature slams into the ship. The entire ship tilts violently to one side, and people begin falling into the water, struggling to stay alive. The scene cuts, and now we see Gong lying unconscious on a beach. A man comes and wakes him up. As Gong regains consciousness, he looks around and realizes that many people are lying there, unconscious. But his daughter is nowhere to be seen. Panic takes over, and he starts screaming her name desperately. Just then, a faint voice comes through the radio. It's Amy. But before he can fully understand what she's saying, the signal cuts off. On the opposite shore, there are more survivors, and they begin signaling toward each other. But suddenly, Gong spots his daughter nearby. Without thinking, he runs toward her. Just as he's about to reach her, his friend stops him, warning that something is moving. Everyone freezes, their eyes wide open in shock. A giant monster snake emerges, moving toward them. Before anyone can react, the snake starts attacking, swinging its massive tail, throwing people into the air, and swallowing many of them whole. Seeing this, Gong erupts shouting, telling them to come back. But they ignore every warning and move forward. Back on the shore, someone tries to call a rescue team, but due to the lack of signal, the call doesn't go through, and quickly realizes something terrifying. There is no escape. The nest is located deep in the center of the jungle. He begins waking up the others, and gradually, everyone regains consciousness. Then, he notices something, absolutely no signal in this deadly jungle. At the same time, one of their companions goes to a river to collect water. While filling it, he hears a strange sound, and suddenly, a thick fog begins to spread across the jungle. Out of nowhere, a monster fish attacks him. Its teeth are massive and deadly. Shocked, he throws it back into the water, but within seconds, multiple monster fish start emerging from the fog. And these creatures can not only swim, they can fly. Somehow, they manage to hide behind trees. Then, Erdeni realizes something crucial. The fish are coming with the fog. So he quickly leads everyone out of the foggy area, and the moment they step out, the fish fall to the ground, unable to move anymore. Their lives are saved, for now. As they catch their breath, Erdeni notices something on the ground, massive footprints. He looks up and sees a strange creature stuck to a tree. Everyone is confused. One man is about to throw a stone at it, but the old man stops him. Before anyone can react, a huge creature falls from above. It's a monster frog, and it has already eaten several people using its tongue. Everyone is terrified. The size of this creature is unbelievable, and killing it seems impossible. They immediately start running, but the frog uses its tongue again, grabbing one man. The old man is about to be swallowed, but he grabs onto a tree desperately. His grip starts slipping, and the others rush to help him. At the same time, one of them stabs the frog's tongue with a knife, but a strange liquid splashes onto his face, burning it instantly. Erdeni runs in and throws a sharp weapon at the frog, hitting its eye. The creature lets go, and they take this chance to escape. But the frog is still chasing them, and just as it leaps forward, destroying trees in its path, suddenly a massive monster snake appears and swallows the frog whole. Everyone is left in complete shock. The snake then tears the frog apart and devours it completely. But now, its attention shifts toward them. They start running for their lives. But not everyone can keep up. The old man and the injured boy, who were attacked by the frog earlier, are moving slowly, struggling to escape. They stumble and fall. The monster snake moves in, but suddenly, it gets tangled between several thick trees. One of their companions throws a coconut at the snake to distract it. That split-second distraction saves their lives, and the two manage to escape. But now, the snake shifts its focus toward the man who threw the coconut and begins chasing him instead. He barely manages to hide behind a tree. Meanwhile, the rest of the group hides behind trees, trying to stay silent. But the snake reaches their location and spots one of them. The terrified man folds his hands, begging for his life, saying, "Please don't eat me." But before he can finish, the monster snake kills him instantly. Now, panic spreads again, and everyone starts running without looking back. In desperation, they jump into a shallow stream and hide underwater. The snake loses track of them and eventually leaves. And for the moment, they survive again. Back at the snake's nest, the old man tries to find a way out, but every attempt fails. Suddenly, the ground starts shaking. Realizing what's coming, everyone pretends to be dead, lying completely still to avoid the snake's attention. The monster snake returns and throws the two men it had swallowed earlier back into the nest. Then it notices something disturbing. One of its baby snakes is dead. That changes everything. fury fills the monster, and it immediately rushes back out, determined to hunt down whoever is responsible. The remaining eggs begin to crack. One by one, they start hatching. A baby snake emerges, and everyone panics, running in different directions. But Gong's daughter, Amy, is unable to run. She ends up right next to the baby snake. In a moment that feels unbelievably tense, she gently places her hand on its head, and surprisingly, the baby snake does nothing. The reason becomes clear through the radio. Hope sparks again. They rush outside, shouting and trying to signal it, but the helicopter doesn't see them and flies away. Just then, the radio picks up Amy's voice again. Gong immediately tells everyone she's alive. But the old man, trying to hide his lie, calls Gong crazy and insists that everyone is dead. However, moments later, they all hear the voices again, confirming that survivors are still alive. Hope returns to everyone's faces. The old man, exposed, runs away. Meanwhile, the helicopter begins approaching him, but suddenly the monster snake appears and swallows him whole. Now, Gong uses the radio again and finally connects with his daughter. Sushi tells him that they are trapped inside a huge cave and can hear the sound of water flowing nearby. Using that clue, Gong begins searching for the cave. Inside the cave, multiple snakes are approaching the survivors, ready to attack. But the baby snake, the one that sees Amy as its mother, starts fighting the other snakes. At the same time, Gong gets closer. Hearing his voice, Amy calls out to him loudly, and he finally locates her. Without wasting time, Gong throws down a tree root and starts pulling them up, but just then, the monster snake arrives, furious and unstoppable. Erdani jumps in and strikes the snake in the eye with an axe. The snake thrashes in pain, and now its focus shifts toward him. Just as it's about to kill him, another companion attacks and destroys its second eye, making the snake completely blind. Meanwhile, Gong is still pulling everyone up. At that moment, the ship's captain sacrifices himself, pushing them upward to safety. Gong finally pulls his daughter up, and for a moment, he feels relief. But that moment doesn't last long. The monster snake recovers again. Elsewhere, the man who had escaped earlier tries to leave the jungle, but fate turns against him. He falls back into the snake's nest and is instantly killed by the snakes. The group finally reaches the edge of the jungle, but Erdani tells them they must split up, or they'll all die together. Gong runs in another direction, while Erdani and his companion decide to fight the monster. Erdani attacks the snake, even slicing through its body, but it has no effect. The creature is too powerful. Just as it's about to kill him, his companion saves him, and they both escape deeper into the jungle. They reach the place where the toxic liquid was found earlier. The snake realizes it's a trap and briefly retreats. Meanwhile, Gong tells his daughter and Sushi to run far away. He decides to go back and help his friends. As he runs back, Erdeni shouts at him to leave, but at that exact moment, Gong turns and sees something horrifying. The monster snake has caught his daughter and swallows her again. He charges at the monster, attacking its body relentlessly, cutting it again and again. But the snake strikes back, knocking him down. Just as it's about to kill him, Erdeni grabs fire, drawing the snake's attention, and runs toward the area filled with toxic liquid. The snake follows him. At the perfect moment, Erdeni throws the fire onto the liquid, and instantly, a massive explosion of flames erupts. The monster snake burns, completely destroyed. The others cut open the snake's mouth, and Gong pulls his daughter out from inside. She is unconscious. Everyone believes she's gone. Gong breaks down, crying uncontrollably, but then she regains consciousness. She's alive. And in that quiet, emotional moment, after everything they've endured, the nightmare finally comes to an end.